Good morning, listeners, and welcome to another interesting edition of the radio program, Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1 hour radio program every Wednesdays on Truth 96.1 FM and at about this time. So Integrity Watch, it serves as a primary radio base and communications information platform of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is a key advocacy tool that provides essential information around the state of the fight against corruption and national integrity building efforts, as well as promotes the culture of transparency, accountability, integrity, and evidence-based decision making across all sectors and institutions of our wonderful and beloved country, Liberia. So under CENTAL's National Integrity Building Anti-Corruption Program that is funded by the government and people of Sweden. This radio program serves as an advocacy, coordination, and engagement platform to rally citizens and other stakeholders support for the fight against corruption and bad governance in Liberia. As part of the NAMBA program, Center has established the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center. So that center is an independent platform that enables citizens to freely report and seek redress to corruption and other integrity-related issues within their communities, counties, and the country at large. So at ILAC, that is the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center, we have a team of professionals, including lawyers, who are ready and willing to listen and provide the necessary advice about the complaint. We encourage citizens to freely report to the following mediums. So we have, of course, Facebook, as you all know, is one of the leading social media platforms. So you can contact the ILAC at CENTAL ILAC. So it's CENTALALC. That's for the Facebook. The email address is alac@cental.org.lr. So it's alac@cental.org.lr. Or you can call the toll-free number 4432 for Orange subscribers. So if you are calling that number, make sure you have evidence. If you witness corruption and you have evidence to that corruption that you witness, you can call them. And also, we also entertain integrity-related issues. So if you are a person of integrity, or if you know somebody that is displaying high level of integrity, you can also call that number for us to be able to spotlight the person, because we want to set the precedence. We want to make citizens to follow examples of other people that are involved or engaging into integrity. We have this saying that says, integrity is doing the right thing at the right time when no one is watching. So we encourage citizens to make use of the 4432 number. So today we have an important special guest in our midst. We encourage our guests to be very civil and informative, and with zero tolerance on invectives and denigrating comments. So for today's edition of the radio program, we are playing host to a patriotic son of the soil in person of Mr. Eric Jenn-Judges. So he would throw light on some accountability and transparency issues, especially regarding our RRA construction. So he would throw light on it. I just want for you to stick and stay. Do not go anywhere, because this discussion is going to be very interesting. It's going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be riveting. It's going to get you asking the hard questions. Is this what our country is heading to? I want you to get glued to your radio. If you are following us on Integrity TV, I want to say thanks for following. You can just drop your comments. We will read your comments out here today. So before we all show our guests in, I want to say to every Liberian's compliments of this season. I pray that this season brings joy, happiness, and also for a better country too. Please let us not make bad use of the season, but let us do it for the good of us and our country. We want to take this time to welcome the president. We say, Mr. President, If you are listening, if you are monitoring, I want to say welcome. Welcome to this broadcast. I'm sure some of your statement are listening. So I want to say welcome wherever you are. So, and also welcome to the country. We noticed that you stay out of the country for so long, and I believe that the stay that you made in that place was for the good. Though on the overall, we perhaps you know that you got something for the benefit of the country, yes. But there are some things that we expected. However, this is Liberia. We will still continue to talk. We will still continue to preach the good and the bad. It's so unfortunate that we did not get the Millennium Challenge grant. Other countries were on that table with you that went for the dinner with President Biden. They were fortunate to get the grant. We hope that we do better. Though we passed in the Millennium Challenge, we yes we passed, but it was our expectation that we should have gotten something at least to boost the economy. However, we are still here. Elections is around the corner, and it's so unfortunate that they have not announced the date for the registration of the voter registration. The initial date was the 15th of December. So Liberians' ears are open now to hear the new date for the voters registration. It's so unfortunate. The population, the national population housing census, we thought that things are going to go on path. And I know some of us that have not, for me, I have not been counted. So we'll be using approximately and 7 million. I know some of us will be using that will be in that number. However, for those of you that were counted, we want to say, yeah, thank you that you are a part of the population. But actually, it's kind of a disheartening. We expected this thing to commence ever since. We love this country. That's why we always speak the truth and nothing but the truth. We always want to speak the truth. If you go out there, to other countries and see what they are doing, when you come back to your country, you're going to cry for this country. All of the sectors, they are performing very poorly. I don't want to name them: the health, the education, agriculture. There are so many things we need to speak on, and we will not get tired talking about it, Mr. President. And the thing about rubbing shoulders with your statement, it's something that you should not compromise this country's agenda for one person, satisfaction. When this person is involved into this app, take action. Take action. Do not sit. Take action. Mr. President, I think that it is now time for concrete actions rather than just mere words. We have looked for too long to see the actual manifestation of your commitment to fighting this national enemy. This menace called corruption. If we want for a country to develop, if we want for a country to go forward, take action. Those that want to involve themselves in the corruption, when they see the action that you have taken or that you have already taken, rather, it will scare them. It's going to scare them. It's going to scare them. We know that you have the country at heart. Nevertheless, we are still asking you to take actions. There are many corrupt practices going on at various ministries. To now, the LECC is still like in limbo. They are just operating on their own. And Councillor Clyde Martin is still there. He's still waiting on the court to act. This is something we feel that you should step into. This is something that we feel you should step into, Mr. President. We have election coming again. I heard the speech that you made this one time when you arrived, and yes, we know that you have love for the country, but you need to go beyond just speeches. You need to go beyond speeches, Mr. President. And interestingly, the young people. Let me just talk about the young people. Approximately 65% of our population is young people, and in the 2017 election, The statistic talks about almost 70 something percent with young voters. I mean, people that voted. And now the crowd is being pulled. Young people, I want to encourage us. We should not just be carried away by just, our words that people will say. We should not be carried away by, sugar-coated words. I will do this. I will do that. We have heard those promises. We've laid and seen those promises died. We can't continue to remain in this state. We must change. Young people, next year is election. And I know that you are you're having that momentum to go and vote. It is obvious that you will vote, yes. But who to vote for? The future of this country depends on us, especially as young people. If we want for this country to progress, it starts now. Start observing those people now. Do not wait for for campaign town to open, then start to go from one place to another because of T-shirt. So you will sell your T-shirt, your birthright because of T-shirt. You will sell the future of this country because of T-shirt. You will sell your country because of $500 of a one bag of rice, of a scholarship that in the end that you will not get. Young people, the onus is on us to think well. If we want to start now, if we want to change our country, we should start changing our minds. There's this famous program by Lawrence Proble, and changing mind, changing attitude. You have to change your mind. Let us change our mind. If we want for this country to progress, it starts with us now. It starts with us now. We must make those hard decisions. Those decisions that will bring glory to this country. Not just for our generation, but for unborn generations. Young people. I'm a young person, that's why I'm talking about it. I'm stressing on it. It's very important. It is very important. It is very important. There are so many things going on in our country, and we will not keep silent. We will not keep silent. We will not keep silent. Like for the score report, the state of corruption report that was recently released by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. Now the 10 persons believe that corruption is high. And people are relying now on the media. They are relying hard on the media to robustly tackle this menace. They are relying on the media. They are relying on the media. And also they are having a little bit of trust in civil societies. Every other time, different thing happen, different thing happen, different thing happen. We need to change our mind, young people. We need to change our mind. There are many patriotic Liberians coming out with brilliant ideas, giving good proposals in all of the sectors. If we can work on this strength, if we can do this thing in the health sector, this will bring development. If we can do this thing in the engineering sector, this will bring development. But people, especially our leaders that are sitting on the top, they think that those ideas, the ideas that young people are coming out with, they are very fresh and innovative ones. But the young people, they silent it. They say we are just a bunch of noise makers. We don't care about what they're doing. Do they have the interest of this country? No. That's why they are saying. And there is this notion that they are there doing our own. When we get there too, we'll do our own. It is my prayer that young people should not carry that notion. It is my deepest and earnest prayer that young people should not carry that notion. I want to take this time to just stop right there and just take a break and get ready for our next section. It's going to be very informative and provocative. So let's take a break and usher our guests in quickly. Let's take a break. All right, we want to say welcome, viewers and listeners out there. We want to say welcome. If you are following us on Facebook, Integrity TV, we want to say welcome to this segment. So today in studio we have he will just introduce himself quickly. So
Yes, my name is Eric Gabriel Jenn-Judges. I am a Liberian, of course, and I'm a civil engineer by profession. I also specialize in geotechnical engineering and transport engineering.
okay.
So I'm also the former manager of the Roberts International Airport Highway Project. As you're already aware, I resigned my position a few years ago because of several reasons that I have written an open letter to the Senate outlining those reasons and also pinpointing those reasons as a cardinal uh, avenue for the different inappropriate works that are going on the road, but moreover as a means that is being used by the contractor and everyone else involved with the project to take our money
Mm.
and resources that are intended for the public is being taken by individuals. So I believe, based on the different improprieties that we've outlined in our letter to the Senate and that we've spoken about openly. So yeah, I mean, I think you understand
Yeah,
where I'm
sure.
coming from. Yeah.
Sure. So this is a young son of the soil who wrote a 7-page open letter to the Senate requesting a prompt decision to repeal the East International, right?
Yes.
Yeah, concession, container at the Rabat International Airport. So he wrote this letter, I think about, should I say, the 5th of December?
Yeah.
He wrote this letter. I don't know if there has been adherence to that by the Senate.
Well, when I wrote the communication, I delivered the letters in person to several senators. I should say, not every one of them, of course, because some of them, their offices are closed. Some of them, because of the season, some people were out. But I delivered some of the letters in person to like Senator Darius DeLon, to the Senate Pro Tem office, to the the chair on public works, Edwin Snow, to several senators. And I also gave copies to some of the representatives who were interested. In fact, after I distributed the letter and made it public, I had an appearance on the OKFN radio.
Yeah, I did monitor that.
Okay. And one of the representatives, in person of Mr. Askar Gray, called in and he was clear that there was going to be a public hearing on this project, and some of the senators have reached out. So I believe they're carrying out some background, investigation, maybe some beyond the scene propping that we are not aware of. But I continue to exert pressure on the senators because, as you know, they are responsible for public oversight.
Definitely.
And their different functions as legislators includes public oversight, public affairs, propping into public matters. So I'm hoping that they will take a firm decision. I'm hoping that they will read that letter. I'm hoping that they too will make additional inquiry into the project, and come up with a decision that will help our country. When you started the conversation, you mentioned two things, and that's one of and those are the cardinal reason why I accepted the invitation, to appear on this program with you. One is the menace called corruption. It's damaging our country, and we need to put out people that have shown some level of integrity in every sector, not just public sector, even in private sector. And those are the cardinal reasons why I thought it's important for us to appear on the program, to urge other young people, right, wherever the case is, to show a high level of integrity in whatever profession you are in, because you are just being one example to many other young people. So whatever the case is, how difficult it may be, you have to stand your ground and make sure that the right thing is done. And that alone will help our country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go into the letter, right? Maybe you might want to just give a summary of
Yes.
it.
Yes. So what I did, I outlined 3 key points in the letter, right, that I sent to the Senate. And in the 3 points, the first thing I mentioned is, for a concession of that size to be given to a company, there must be some sort of thorough research or investigation done by the Senate, right? To be able to confirm that this project is indeed good for the country. It will definitely give us some gains in terms of the economic aspect, and that after the project, we will benefit immensely. You understand? But to my utmost surprise, the Senate did nothing in that direction. It just awarded the project to this company. And I say so because I was then the project manager when this concession was being prepared. And there were several questions that I asked that I never got answer to. So I expected, at least if being the technician in the ministry, does that push the contractors or the concessionaire enough to bring the relevant information to me, then at least the Senate, which is the highest level of decision making in the country. In fact, it is the first branch of government in this country. Yeah, the contractor and the Ministry of Public Works that at the time fronted for this company to be the concessionaire would have brought some sort of substantive information to the Senate to say, look, we agree that this company has reached this benchmark in terms of their experience. They have done this kind of feasibility study, and these are the numbers. And these indicators are telling us that we will benefit immensely from the project. But moreover, that this company is competent enough to execute the project, that they have shown everything necessary to carry out this project. So therefore, we, propose that this concession be passed, that this project be given to this company. But if you go back to my letter and you go at the Ministry of Public Works, you wouldn't find anything like that. You wouldn't find, and it's really alarming because the examples are really clear. When where the World Bank um, agree with the government of Liberia to build the rail-led Banga corridor. They did all the necessary feasibility studies, the documents that I just spoke about. They presented them to the government. And in that document, they lay out the different indicators that show that the project will be beneficial to the country and to us. But for us to take this project, which is one of these most important corridors in the country, and award it to a Chinese company that presented no feasibility studies, presented no economic indicator, doesn't understand the role in totality, but moreover, the Minister of Public Works has confirmed to the Senate that the company is technically incompetent. To me,
to the Senate.
The minister wrote the progress report of the project because the Senate had asked to see that, and she wrote to the Senate and outlined several issues that go on in the project. And she mentioned emphatically in that communication that the company is technically incompetent, has an inappreciable technical knowledge of the project. As a person schooled in engineering,
it is Liberia's thing.
Liberia's project. Imagine. As a person schooled in engineering, when somebody said this construction company is technically incompetent, Mark, it means that company has no ability to execute the project. So at this point, I'm even thinking, what the Senate's waiting for to repeal this concession? At this point, it doesn't make sense anymore to even have the contractor on the road, because the person who represents our sector, the Minister of Public Works, is a lead technical person in the country in terms of engineering, right? Infrastructure engineering. The minister is. For her to appear before the Senate and explicitly say to the Senate that this company is technically incompetent, it means at this point the company shouldn't be on the road anymore. Because it's clear that the people who evaluate our infrastructure day and night has already confirmed that this company is incompetent to do the work.
Is it that there is some kind of obscure motives, on the part of the Senate to the East company or whatever?
I want to believe so. I would definitely want to believe, because
such a thing like that, somebody that is superseding that the entire process says this thing is not good. What are you waiting for?
Exactly, and that's the question, and I want to believe so, Mark, because if there wasn't any exterior motive or any interest, but now the Senate should have moved. When you're leading, there is a time where you have to be swift in terms of making decisions, and this is one of these scenarios that the Senate should have put a feet down and move right into investigating this project and bringing the issue to a logical conclusion, right? So there are examples around that we can show. The other issue I mentioned in that letter also is the structure of the procurement. The procurement of the contract violated in many ways the structure that is being set up by the state. We have the Public Procurement Concession Commission, right? That entity is an entity in Ataba law.
Definitely.
So it means every procedure that is set up in there should be followed, right? But if you go back to the letter and you review the process used to award this contract to this company, you will see that there are a whole lot of wrong steps along the way. And we have unearthed these wrong steps. We've clarified, and we are willing to go before the Senate, before the House committee, whatever, to emphatically state what happened in the procurement of this project.
Have you heard any exigent response from PPCC?
No, because this letter wasn't addressed to PPCC. Okay, At this point, it has passed PPCC. The Senate has enacted it's a law now. So the only place we can go back to ratify that law or to repeal the law is at the Senate. So that's why I wrote this letter directly to the Senate, right? To say, look, the law that you passed 2 to 3 years ago, it has issues, and we identify those issues, right? So please go back and look at it and do what is right. For example, before you procure a project of that size, either the ministry or the entity overseeing that project will put out what we call the request for information, or what we call the REOR. Yeah, people to express interest in having this project. If you go back to the ministry, there wasn't any official procurement procedure that says company can now bid for can express interest in the RIO. There wasn't. So our procurement law wasn't followed. Okay, for example, let's say let cut the ministry some slack and say there was an urgency to do this role. So they allow unsolicited bids, right? Unsolicited proposals to come to the ministry. Wherever the case is, or whatever the case may have been, that unsolicited proposal should at least giving us an indication of the different people that are competitive, right, for this project. 2 or 3 or 4 different companies, right, that have submitted unsolicited proposal. And those proposals probably should be taken to the PPCC to say, look, we've not called officially for this project to be, to be done, but there are companies expressing interest. These are the companies. How do they fit into our procurement laws? You understand? So then the PPCC that is responsible for explaining this law, for implementing this law, will explain how it should be done, so that it shouldn't be done in a corrupt manner. You understand? But that wasn't done. This company, of all the different companies, right? Because I work in the ministry before, so I'm aware of the different companies that have expressed interest in this role, unsolicited interest in this role. And there are several of them. And Mark, the interesting part is the company that we award the contract to wasn't the most competitive, neither the most advantageous, neither the most beneficial in terms of their proposal, in terms of the things that they put on the table. So what was the rationale in giving them this project if corruption is not the case? What was the rationale? Because if you for typical example, put out 4 different options, and you have 3 of the 4 options that are lucrative enough, that give you more benefit as compared to this one proposal, I'm very sure in your simple human reasoning, you will take the one that gave more benefit to the country. So we had Michigan Global in partnership with Watchen, a tier 1 Korean company, Korean construction company, in partnership with Michigan Global. It's an international investment firm, infrastructure investment firm based in the US, in Michigan. They had a joint venture, came to Liberia. They a complete feasibility of that role. And their pricing and everything is below what we're doing the role for now. So what were the rationale in giving this project to East International if corruption wasn't the issue? If our people who are leading hadn't dropped their integrity, their sense of integrity. I don't know. I'm asking what would have been the issue?
I think it is obvious that those at the front line have some, because they think this thing about percentage. When you do it, there will be a percent for me. Specific percentage will go to you. Like that. I think there is something underneath that entire process. And the thing about it is that it is if you have a country that hard, you will go for the right thing, right? So even if you do that country, if you say you're not like in the former the former minister of state, he said that we'll be here right here, we'll do it, and we'll do it, we'll be here, and we'll die, and I'll use it.
And those are really alarming comments coming from leaders.
Definitely,
you're leading. You shouldn't be making those comments.
Definitely,
because then it opens rooms for corruption, or it kind of empower people to say, okay, if the person who leading can do it,
Sure.
I too can do it, which is not good for us. Because if everybody jump into corruption, I tell you, Mark, we are having a serious issue with the country. Because if everybody start to do serious corruption around here, we wouldn't even have a country in the coming decade or so. And that's really an issue. For this project, as a case, we've shown to the senators, we've wrote in an open manner to say that there are discrepancies that you need to look into. We've first outlined the fact that the economic benefit that's supposed to come to us from this project wasn't clearly outlined by the company that is doing the role. Yeah, it
So
wasn't outlined by the
are
company
you
that's
the
doing
only
the role.
lone Liberian in this fight?
Well, no, there are other people who have shared this letter. They've supported this cause. They've gone beyond the scene and trying to get the Senate to look at this role. So I will be wrong to say I'm the only person, even though I'm one of the persons who have passionately taken this particular fight up. I've taken it up because I believe it is wrong. The concession is wrong, is embedded in a whole lot of discrepancies that is not good for our country. So we need to to look at it, and the Senate need to add now. The Senate needs to add now. Now is the time to add. If we don't do it now, when do we do it?
And
So when do we do it?
I'm utterly concerned about the PPC part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So coming from you as somebody who really loves development,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said that it surpasses the PPCC,
Mm-hmm.
jurisdiction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that they do have a fish to fry.
Of course.
Aren't they playing a part? Is that something that they are doing?
Officially, I don't know what they're doing. Um, I don't know whether they've managed to prop into this issue, because for any reason, if a major contract and a major construction
Very
of this
major.
size, of this magnitude, wasn't procured properly as the procurement commission, I believe there should be some sort of propping or some sort of investigation, or maybe some question asking should go on. So I don't know. Realistically, I don't know what they're doing from that end. Probably I will direct one of the letters there and
Yeah,
find out,
I think you
and
should.
find out what are they doing from the end in terms of this contract, because it thinned the country as a whole. The country as a whole. And everybody should fight this. This company is owned by individual Chinese men. Contrary to the fact that these major corporations and construction companies in China are owned by state. So if there is an issue um, with the state-owned companies, you have a clear channel that you can follow to report these issues. They have the embassies here. They have the embassy here. They have the consulate. They have people here directly linked to the government that you can send a communication to say this state-owned company is carrying out XYZ. You understand? But this company is owned by an individual Chinese citizen. Individuals Chinese citizens. It's not a state-owned company. And it baffles me to see that a single Chinese man can come here and manipulate the entire system and take away $116 million contract without us realizing that project, the cost could have been lower than that. Well, some of us realize, but without our Senate and the people who leading us realizing that this contract could have been done under that amount is mind-boggling. It's baffling for me. And it is important now for us to go back to the facts and try to establish these things. And look, if we set an example with this concession, if we repeal this concession, take it back, do it properly, and roll it out, it sets an example for all the concessionaires and even people who will be wanting to invest into Liberia. They will understand that we want to do our business right. They will understand that we don't stand for corruption. They will understand that manipulating our system is not a way to go. Manipulating our system is not a way to go. You understand? So these are the things that our Senate should do. And as a leader, you should set example. And they have the tools to do that. That's why we brought them. They have the tools to do that. Mark, before you come in, the points that I lay out in that letter, if you're a senator and you're serious to have oversight, by now there should be some actions,
robust ones.
There should be some actions. Because, for example, I clearly mentioned in that letter that there is a small Liberian company, right, that was infused into the concession to be called the consultancy firm for the role. That small Liberian company was established 3 years ago. That small Liberian company has no more than 5 employees. That small Liberian company has done no role that we can point to. I've been in the engineering sector for forever. Since I graduated and I've been working in the engineering sector. A decade of my professional career was spent at the Ministry of Public Works, moving from one division to the next, promotion from one bureau to the next. I work throughout my youthful years in the ministry. I work as far as with the Deputy Minister for Technical Services, the former Deputy Minister for Technical Services, as his technical assistant.
So was it because of improprieties? That's why you resigned, especially for this particular project?
Of course. I listed those things.
Yeah.
And now that I just listed them, I sent a communication to the ministry to say, these are my condition precedent for if you want me to take on the project. These are the condition precedents. And I listed those things. In fact, in my letter, I made it clear that we are very aware of this particular company. Yeah, we are aware. In my email to the ministry, when they call and say you should come back, I wrote them and say, these are the conditions. If you agree to these conditions, I'll come back. Number one on that list of conditions that I sent was the fact that I wanted to be paid as a civil servant and not be paid from the project fund. Because of the way the funding was structured, I knew right from the start that we had issues. And that as the project manager, as somebody who's supposed to stamp both the technical and the managerial aspect of the project, I needed to be in an independent position to do that. But attaching my monthly salary to the contract or to the project would have definitely hampered my independent decision. So I wrote the ministry and said, look, take my salary make my salary as I'm a civil servant. Don't attach whatever I'm supposed to get as a salary from the project. Let CSA pay me, right? This contractor and this consultant has nothing to do with my salary. I'm employed with the government. I'm employed to work for government. So let me be paid as a government worker. You understand? The ministry refused.
Let me open the line. Ladies, listeners and viewers out there, if you are listening and watching this program, I want to say the program that you are in tune to is Integrity Watch. Let us open the line quickly. If you can put your calls through 0776 626393. 0776 626393. If you are monitoring us on Facebook via Integrity, we want to say thank you for following the numbers. The number is on your screen. You can just dial the number right there. So let's come back. This thing is Liberian's thing. Why? I just don't know. So there is. I don't know if the company. I'm pretty sure that they are hearing the air that there is something that is coming against us. So what can we do? If they complete that project, God forbid now, if they complete that project, it'll be totally catastrophic for us, because in the nearby future we will face that is a major route.
Yeah, it is.
This is what foreigners use, leading to our airport. So if they complete that route, it might just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, from the technical works that they're doing there, this one is not disputed. It's something that the entire engineering community agreed on, that we are having an issue with the technical approach to the work. In fact, if you get on the road now, you'll see they have dish both sides of the road, and the traffic there is a mess. We have no alternative routes. Even some of the culverts and engineering works going on there is heavily being questioned. So it's something that the entire engineering sector in Liberia agree on, that this company is technically incompetent, and that's on the hard aspect of this project, which we have spoken about openly over and over. We've not hidden our view about this company and the incompetent approach to the work. So it's something that but like you said, if we sit here and this company go about to complete this role, apart from the fact that we'll have to do a lot of maintenance to keep it up, we will also have given away a huge sum of money to a single Chinese man. We will have given away more than $20 million to a single Chinese man because we refuse to do what is right. Because we refuse to do what is right.
Listeners out there, you can place a call to 0776-6263-93, 0776-6263-93. I repeat, let's take this call quickly. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
I'm Joseph Sinoma, calling from the Matalo Belt.
Okay. Let's hear you.
Good morning.
Let's hear you.
My brother, I want to thank you very much coming up to express matters of concern to the public, especially the RIA rule. I'm not an engineer, but I have been flying at rule. The way the engineers started the work, I myself, I regret and I am concerned. The senator and the representative who are the chair on public work, these are the main people that we as Liberians supposed to attack them for them to make sure they re-engage their partners in the house, for them to see how best they can start the construction of that road now. That's my.
All right. Thank you so very much. Thank you. So if you read, I just read, I think this first and second pages, and I was like, I'm not an engineer, but I understood right from when you're speaking.
Mhm.
Let's take this caller. Hello, caller. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, thank you guys so much this afternoon. My name is Lorenzo Babedima, and I'm calling from the rap this afternoon.
Okay. Let's hear you.
This morning. Thank you. Hello?
Yeah. You are live.
Yeah, thank you so much. Lorenzo Babedima, once again, my name. The fellow just spoke about this saying road construction for this. You know, you don't need you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you the construction of this road will be protected for the next 50, 40 years to come. When you're saying that, you don't need rocket scientists to tell you it just work for time being. Look, Liberia, we try to graduate from the stage. I'm speaking to our leaders this morning. We need to graduate from the stage. We are one of the audience. So when we are doing something, let's make it guaranteed. As our age is old, let our work be old. Let's do something guaranteed that tomorrow we will say this rule for the next 20, 30 years. This rule, I call this our mother's house rule. Our international highway rule. This is our mother house rule, Mama Liberia horse rule. When you get a stranger, hold their hands, that this is the rule you're going to ride on to carry to the mother house. So you leaders, this is the rule you drive on every day. You are not showing no concern.
Okay.
Like I said, when you people live in this country, that when you leave power, will say yes.
All right.
He or she was there. This is what they put in place.
All right. Thank you so much.
For putting in the time.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. We will just entertain one more caller because time is our worst enemy. Citizens are crying out because that, like I said previously, that is a major route.
Mhm.
And if you want investor, let's take this caller. Hello, caller. Your name and where you calling from? Good afternoon. Okay. Like I said, that is a major route. And if you want to attract foreign investment, when foreigners come at the airport, the first thing sometimes when foreigners come and see the airport is very squeezed up. They feel discouraged. And you come and jump into a road that is very narrow and very, I don't know. How do you think they would feel encouraged to go back and say, I think I need to invest?
Yeah, and Mike, we've emphasized this on different levels, and at this point, the clarion call from the public and from us, and from CENTAL and the media and everybody, who's playing their part, is for our Senate to take an action, because at this point, it's clear that first we are giving away our small resources, our small tax dollars. We are giving it away to a Chinese man without any clear procedure. As we speak, the ministry also is complaining that the project account that is being used to fund the project, the ministry has no jurisdiction over the account. Yes, of course, it's also in that communication to the Senate that the ministry that is responsible for the management and the oversight of the project, right, is complaining that the account that is being used by the Chinese men to fund the road, they have no control, they have no access, they don't even know how much the Chinese man is taking from the account every day or every month. You, Mark, tell me for God's sake.
So who are signatories to that?
That's the question. That's the most important question. You are building my infrastructure. Let's do an analogy. You are building my house, right? And you come to me and say, I am Mark, I'm a contractor, I can build your house for $50. I agree. Now you bring the $50 and you build in my house, but then I have no control, neither access to how the $50 is being withdrawn from the account. Then moreover, because the $50 is being withdrawn in session, in parts, I needed to know if you finish my foundation, I needed to check it to see that my foundation is of quality before I agree, say, yeah, go and take $10 from the account. Right now, as it is, whether my foundation is of quality or not, you still go into the account to take money from it because you control the account.
Wow.
You understand? So these things are
let's
set up in a way that is corrupt.
Wow. Let's get your party comment. I think we'll have to reschedule. Let's get the party comment quickly because we're out of time. Let's get the party comment quickly.
Thank you, Mark, for bringing me here, and thanks to the CENTAL team for the work you're doing. We this is our country. Like I said to somebody the last time, you can send me threatening messages. You can do anything. I'm not going out of this place. I'm not living here. And I'll continue to speak about this issue. I'll continue to speak about the corruption, about the appropriate approach of the civil works going on that project. And I'll continue to write to the legislature. As we speak, I've already prepared my second open letter. I will send to the legislature and I will continue to ask them to take an action because this project is wrongly set up. We are damaging our money and it's not right for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. That was the voice of Mr. Jenn-Judges. I want to say thank you for following and stay for the repeat. My name is Mark Bondao. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day.